And there was issues last year with them just even getting up the virtual Black graduation. So it was a little bit of a mess. So I think that's why they kind of in some ways wanted some of the energy to die down, because it was a little embarrassing.
Okay.
I wasn't involved in the planning last year, but I just happened to attend for obvious reasons. And it was a little crazy. So this year is a lot better. They're trying to get everything loaded up to YouTube early. It's, and move it all. So they're trying to move the video from last year onto the same YouTube account as where the video this year will roll out from, and then try to capture some of that. So I know they've been talking about that, but I'll be honest. These are not, I already have my plate full with what I'm doing. So I honestly don't pay too much attention with that stuff, because we every college is supposed to have a PR division, and those are the people paid to do this stuff. And they certainly don't for the Black students, but for the college in general, it doesn't really even happen. And so I hear what you're saying. I just know for me, to be honest, sometimes my eyes glaze over, because I'm direct student service, and my area of expertise is counseling and education. It's not this stuff. So that's just my disclaimer.
Right. And so I'm going to draw on any energy I can get from you to find out if there are people who are part of this quote unquote coalition of the willing. And that's a big assumption, because maybe even the people who are identified as or paid to do this work, if I can find out who they are, maybe I can challenge them to help me get this information, so that I then can take it and edit it and put it together in a format that allows it to become a story. Because that's what I'm willing to do. I know there's no budget for it, but if I'm going to ever help to get some of my objectives met, which is really to get your story told, to get it out there as earned media, so that some people can understand this. There's a lot of talent inside the LA Community College District who happen to be Black, and who happen to have some interest in some very specific career pathways that I have interest in and I have connection with. I think I can do a better job of matching some of those commitments I have from job providers with some job seekers. And I think that that's what I found that does not really exist as a organic, focused initiative, is to try and put those elements together in the same room or in the same space, so that we can actually find out through experimentation what are some of the things that are working and some of the things aren't. Like, I want to be able to get more people who have some job commitments and some training and development. I want them to try and find some of the talent in your, and I'm not even going to say pipeline, because that's an overused word, but I want to try to find some people who believe that they're ready for a little bit of training, so that they can actually get a job interview. And we can figure out through that experience what are some of the things that are missing, because that is going to provide the analysis or the evaluation to see if we can get people closer to the standard for people to compete for, especially online submissions for job opportunities. Because I'm finding that the people that I've worked with this semester, they're not very good at online submissions. For some reason, it's not even follow through. It's just that I've given most of the people an application to fill out just to be involved with my mentorship program.
Yeah.
They don't fill it out. They don't follow through with all the things that I'm looking for. So I can get it by piecemeal, but it literally it's like pulling teeth to get all the information. And I don't think that they're not doing it because they don't want to. I just think they know how to. So that's one of the things that I want to put out there as a story, is how do we help to put together a coalition of the willing that focuses on some of the prioritized needs that these students have to identify as things that they're going to get better at, so they can get a living wage, or at least a trajectory towards a living wage. And especially into industries that have growth in California, and Southern California especially. My area of interest is digital media, and digital media is not just the entertainment industry, not just Hollywood. Every industry uses digital media, voice, video, and data. And what I want to do is make sure that every single person who's willing to agree that these are things that we can make sure that people get either certifications or badges for, can at least be able to try and get some of the training on those things that can give them those certifications. Because I know AA degrees are important to get the 4-year college transfers, but I'm working right now with 4-year university students who are graduated. I'm working with Master of Fine Arts students who are graduating. And the community college students need to realize that they're not only just competing with themselves, they're competing with these people
Yeah.
that are
Well,
really, and
that are leaps and bounds ahead. And I think the thing is that um, a lot of our community college students, well, I can't speak for the students, I don't know, but they should know that. And we are well aware of that. That's why our mission is really not to get them a job per se or living wage. It's really to educate them, to move them to the next step towards that. Because if we're realistic in the community college, and some of us are, some of us aren't, um, there are not very many associate degree programs that are going to get you a living wage. So the truth of the matter is we really are the training ground to move them on. It is the students that you reference are the ones that are going to be ready for your level of experience. Now, we have some community college students, don't get me wrong, that can be, especially those that have already achieved higher education and are coming back for special certification in this area, something like that. But those are few and far in between, to be honest. Like, we don't have a lot of them. We have more of the student that, wants to get a job quickly, that, wants to do digital media, but has very limited skills. And so that's sort of my thoughts about it. I could be off base, but
but
probably not.
the only way that you can help me, I believe, is to see if we can get the word out for, and again, I know that you said that most of the students don't want to participate in anything unless it's incentivized.
Yeah.
Or unless, and again, incentives are something that I guess I wanted to ask you. Aside from money, is there anything else you could think of that can incentivize them to even fill out an application or to submit themselves for qualification for some training?
Yeah, I think exclusive opportunities are helpful. So, when you had the opportunity that you marketed the year before last, or last year, I can't remember, with Laugh Out Loud or whatever, with Kevin Hart.
Heartbeat, Kevin Hart.
Yeah, thank you. I can think of it. That one, students were excited about that because it was a sort of exclusive opportunity. So that generated some buzz. But again, in this environment where we're working remote, everything is harder. So it's even harder to get students to pay attention with that. I mean, I got donations from a private donor to start scholarships for our students, and they were $5,000 scholarships, 3 of them. So it wasn't one, there were 3. And of the 200 plus students we have in our program, I had a hard time getting a lot of students to apply. I mean, really, we probably had less than 10 students apply that were eligible. And
what do you attribute that to? What do you attribute that to?
It's a lot of things. Like I mentioned to you before, students being overwhelmed is an understatement. When I talk to and meet with the students every day, they're not just saying, oh, school is hard, or, oh, I don't want to study. Like, they're saying, I'm working 2 jobs. I have to babysit for my parents that are working, and I got to figure out how to come up with the money to pay my car note because I gave my money to my parents for rent. It's not, it's a lot. I had a student I was talking to yesterday who was apologizing to me because she wasn't doing that well in her classes because she's working 2 jobs and helping her mom out. And so, I was telling, when we're talking and talking to the students, we're talking about survival, so it's hard to focus on anything when you don't have your basic needs met. And that's where it is. So
right. I think, I finally was able to get the stuff copied and put in the chat window. So I put in there, the last one was the first one I mentioned, which is the Facebook 2002 Black graduation.
2002? You said?
2020, excuse
Oh,
me.
okay. I was like, oh
So,
my
so
gosh.
yeah, 2020. I'm dyslexic. I'm everywhere. So,
That's okay.
is there a promotion for the Black graduation on your social media pages? Because I didn't see it on the Facebook page
That's
or
a
the
great
book.
question. I submitted it to our PR person a few times,
Mhm.
and she claims she put it on Facebook, um, and Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I see it's on your website. It's on the Pierce website, May 25th, Black
Yeah,
graduation,
that's that.
but
That's because
it's
I was
not even
listening
an
to it as
active
well.
link. It's not an active link. It's just
Yeah,
it's
I
in
know that's another
the
stupid thing about our. All those areas are really are not helpful at all if there aren't active links. But that's what our PR person does. She puts up those
right, because we got the
visuals.
lavender graduation and the
Yeah,
main graduate, and so you're looking, and I put into the search window
yeah.
of the website for Black graduate, and there's nothing there.
The search window for the website doesn't even work properly.
Oh, okay.
It's just that,
So,
yeah. And so our district is contracting for a new website also, but like it's just, I mean, crazy. I don't know if you've been to Pierce College's you said you did.
yeah, I went
That was
there.
on here. That should have been there. I think I asked her.
Okay.
She
Well,
told me the first time she. Huh?
okay, I'll check back, but I couldn't find
Okay.
anything when I put in the search window. So
Okay.
I just went through, I just went through social media search engines to find the Facebook site for the Black graduation. But when I
Oh,
go through the
so
three
that's one
buttons,
thing. Sorry, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, Kevin. I just want to correct one thing. There isn't a Facebook site for the Black graduation. That
No,
was.
For Umoja.
Oh yeah, we don't have one for Umoja at Pierce either. We only
Oh,
have Instagram.
okay. So yeah,
But the
that makes sense.
college, yeah, but the college has a Facebook page, and that's the page where the Black graduation was
Right.
supposed to be promoted and posted. And then the district has a Facebook page, and they also were supposed to promote it. And then we have a LACCD Black Faculty Staff Association Facebook page, and it was there. I did see it there.
Right. So, one of the things that I want you to leave with, if I can
Hmm.
help in any way,
Hmm.
I want you to believe when I put in the three buttons about about earned media, owned
Hmm.
media,
Hmm.
and paid media,
Hmm.
you got to start thinking about what could that mean to Umoja, Pierce, and to the region from LA. What could that mean to your bottom line of success?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so um, the thing that's most important to me is that if I can get you to agree that those are things that you'd like to have in terms of outreach and marketing yourself to not just to the students and the faculty, but maybe to partners, maybe to folks who might want to make commitments for jobs or for training or from
Mhm,
volunteerism. Those are the kind of things that I'd like to see happen
mhm,
with all of your efforts, so that whatever it is that is the outcome, it's
mhm,
something that you have a hand in making sure that it gets to all the people that it's intended to get to, but it spills over to all the other people who are on the periphery of what could be the kind of marketing and advertising that says, hey, we're doing good work, we're showcasing our stories, and all the things that everybody really needs to have in order to survive. and
mhm,
and that's something that I'm going to really insist that if I help you, I want to get all the people who can agree that this is something we need. um,
mhm,
Working with the California community colleges for me has
mhm,
been very interesting, to say the least. But
mhm.
what I do realize is that I think there's a lot of good people who want to make sure that students get a
I'm sorry.
better.
I'm sorry, Kevin. Hold on one sec. Sorry
Sure.
about that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, instead of putting in the chat, I'm going to email you the things that I believe I can help with. If I
Mhm.
can get the content and buy-in from you guys, I will do something for Black graduation, which is May 25th, right?
It's May 25th. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So is that event open to the public, or is it very
Yeah,
private?
it's going to stream on YouTube.
Okay. And why did you guys choose YouTube? Is it Google Hangout?
No, I think YouTube, just because they felt like that was a platform that could be utilized, outside of the country. It could be used anywhere. I don't, honestly, I'm not in that part of the planning. I'm on the student side, so I didn't choose that.
No. Everything that I'm asking is there's probably a reason for it. And I don't want to, waste the time in trying to get you to understand what it is I'm trying to achieve with the strategy of getting earned and owned and paid media as part of your next level. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I think we got about 5 minutes left, is what do you guys have planned for summer school? You guys have a Moja type of activities for the summer?
We do. Well, sort of. We do. We're supposed to have. Umoja usually offers a cohort of 2 classes that the students take together in the summer as a part of Pierce's summer bridge program. However, the reason I laughed into it sort of is because the people that are planning it this year, we have no information. I've been asking for more information. I've been asking for an update, and we have nothing. So the college in general doesn't have an update on Summer Bridge. It's supposed to be open to high school and incoming new students. And the issue is right now, Kevin, we have a lot of instability. It sort of set off, to be honest, when I stepped down from my position as the Dean of Student Success, because in years past, I was responsible for those programming activities. And so I did it for the college. So when I stepped down, then my responsibilities were disseminated and they hired a backfill person, but things are not moving. And in the interim, our vice president just left and our president is leaving in like the next few weeks. So we are really struggling right now in a lot of ways. So this is not the norm.
Right,
outside of COVID.
Yeah, and it's definitely not my interest to try and figure out what I can do to right the ship. I think what I want to do is look at Emoja from your perspective of how I can help bring in some resources that I believe don't know that you guys exist.
Right. And I agree with that. So again, for summer, I don't know because somebody else is in charge. For fall, I'm in charge. So we're offering 3 classes for learning community. I already know what those classes are. We already have them scheduled. We know what times they are. And as soon as our enrollment period opens, we can start enrolling students in it. So everything that we can control locally, we have ready to go.
So let me focus. The reason I asked about summer is because I'm not sure I can do anything for summer, but just in case, I want to make sure I don't, it's not left off my calendar. But yeah, I think that fall semester, which starts what's the date for
last
fall?
week of August. So yeah, end of August.
And when does enrollment start?
It's starting at the end of this month. They pushed it back this semester because due to COVID and scheduling and not being sure if classes are online or in person and all of that, everything is out of whack. So they pushed it back. So the class schedule actually doesn't even come out until next week. So students won't even have a schedule to look at, to choose from, and then they enroll at the end of the month.
Right. And the last thing I want to ask, how can you parse from the folks that, let's say the 200 or so people that you guys are covering, how can you parse from that 200 group of students who may have interest in getting certifications in digital media that could lend themselves to the certification to any industry that they may want to go into for exploration?
Well, that usually comes from the student's identified major or their informed goal. And that happens in the counseling sessions with myself or with another counselor. And so we know which students want to do what, but again, their focus at Pierce is to usually when they're studying digital media, they usually want to transfer to university. I don't have any Umoja student I could think of right now that's interested in a certification or a certificate at Pierce.
Right. And what I'm going to do is send you an email about some opportunities to broaden people's awareness
That's great.
of
Yeah.
what these digital media certificates can do to
Mhm.
kind of fill in that gap you said that engages people and gets them kind of cataloged, but doesn't give them any mapping to where these certifications can go for jobs or gigs right now. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so to really focus on that area that is maybe a missing piece is what I think I'd like to maybe help with. And I'm finding that that's still an issue with the California State Universities even.
It is going to be an issue, and I'll tell you why. Because it's mixed messaging, and we can't promote mixed messaging. And what I mean by that is, from the university standpoint, or even the college's standpoint, we're here to keep the students with us to teach them whatever it is we're teaching them. So we won't promote outside certifications unless there's some value or benefit that ties back into their educational goal at the institution. So when you talk about certifications or things like that, I can certainly inform students and share information, but everything that they're doing, the messaging they're getting is to study at Pierce, finish this at Pierce. So if it's not at Pierce, it's not going to make sense to
Right,
them,
right.
and it's also not really a message we can effectively.
I can see
convey.
where that can be. I can see where that can be problematic.
Yeah.
And so yeah, let's see what we can do to try to create an alignment between the things that you guys can then find some articulation between those things that will give either a certification or a AA degree for them, that
Mhm.
we can make the alignment between that and something that we can identify maybe just as a pilot. I have a group that is really looking at community colleges for visual effects and animation.
Oh
And
yeah, cool.
yeah, so
That's
that may
emerging.
that yeah, so I'm meeting with them tomorrow, and I'm going to let them know that we got to find a way to make sure we look at what you have as offerings and
Mhm.
see where we could then find an introductory course that would say, hey, yeah, let's, and it could be even offering course credits as an internship or some experience. And that's
Yeah,
one of
that
the
would be
things.
great too. Yeah.
Yeah, so because I
Yeah.
know that so the only thing that I really want to make sure is that if there's something that can be a transparent overlay to the things that they're
Mhm.
getting peers
Mhm.
or in the community colleges that you can affiliate with,
Mhm.
then they can transfer that or they can leverage that to the certificate making a
Mhm.
pathway to
Mhm.
something that makes sure that everybody, including you guys, can say, hey, this is a pilot that makes success easier to understand. So,
Mhm.
but that's what I will focus on. So I'll send you an email with paid media, earned media, and owned media being the objective here.
Okay.
And then again, anything that you can do to send me emails back on where I could find any video, because there's no video. It's all
Yeah.
posters
I
and photographs. I saw no video even on Instagram.
Yeah, no, there isn't a lot, because what happened is, well, it's a long story, but basically when we were face to face, that was the program was under the leadership of someone else, and I was supervising that person, and I was trying to get that person to do more, but um, it is what it is. So
Right.
I have very little video.
Do you have
We
one last question? Do you guys
Yeah.
have any Zoom recordings? Any of the Zooms that you've gone? Even the conference you guys had in February. Do you guys have any access to that video?
The Umoja community has that. I wouldn't have that, so that would be a reach out to the communications person, and I can email you his contact info, and
Okay.
then he can share. He also would have more pictures and video from community events, for statewide events.
Okay.
Um,
I'll let you know.
locally, sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I would love to have that contact to make
Yeah.
an ask to see if we can put together a sizzle reel.
Mhm.
Something that will relate to the Kevin Harts and the other organizations, so they
Mhm.
know that you guys, and they really can be marketed to as
Yeah.
a database of talent that is focused on African American engagement and awareness and cultural enrichment. Those are the
Right.
things that
Right.
I was hoping there was like a reel that talked about those um, those pillars for
Yeah.
Umoja.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really what I'm
Uh,
looking for. If he has something that already exists, that'll make it easier for me to promote to some of my corporate people who will make commitments to that.
okay. Okay.
Okay,
That sounds
so
good. Yeah.
I'll follow up with an email.
Okay.
And there's also going to be, yeah. So that's it. So I know we got to go. So
Okay.
thank you
You're
again for your time.
welcome. Okay.
Talk to you
Take care,
later.
Kevin. All right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.